Morning, St. Paul Lutheran Church. Pastor Wolfmuller here. It's Friday, August 21st. It's an exciting week this week. Here's our announcements for the week. This is the week where we move towards our array of opportunities to come back to church for the Lord's Supper. God be praised for that. But because most especially, we'll have our service this Sunday morning. The bells will ring at 9 o'clock. Doors are going to be open. We're all going to be there for church, at church, on Sunday morning. You should be very excited. This will be wonderful to see each other again. Now, we'll have a simplified liturgy. We'll sing the canticles. It'll be mostly spoken liturgy. We'll have pews marked so we can be seated every other pew. We'll bring communion down to you where you're seated in the pew and so forth. We're asking people to wear masks coming in and leaving, and if you can while you're there. While you're moving around in the building, we have masks on as well. Kind of restaurant policy for masks. But we'll be back in church. That's the main thing. God be praised. We're asking if people would please register for that. It's a strange thing. It's old custom. I was reading back in the history of the church when in fact, for the 100th anniversary, they interviewed Pastor Manz's daughter. He was a pastor at St. Paul from like 1903 to 1940 something. And she remembered how people would come to the parsonage to register for communion on Friday and on Saturday. The pastor was there in his office, and people would come and talk to him, register for communion. And then the phone came along, and so instead of coming to visit, people started calling, and then it all fell apart. Anyway, so we're going back to old school, 1903 style. We're asking you to please register to let us know if you're going to be there. That helps us get ready. It helps everyone else know how many people are coming. So right now, it's 10 o'clock on Friday morning. There's 110 people registered. So I suspect that 130 people is about what we're looking at for a service on Sunday, which is wonderful. Still gives us space to be between the pews and so forth. After church, we'll have a hymn sing afterwards. Jonathan's got the Caroline hooked up. The trustees got it, so he'll play the bells for us, and we'll gather in front of the church and sing a couple of hymns outside. We'll make our way to the fellowship hall. Bible class will start at 10:30, both in the fellowship hall and on Zoom. So you got your options, and this will be going forward. You'll have this option. You can join us for Bible class either at church, or if you want to head home and jump on the computer, or if you stay home and watch the service, and you can join us on Zoom anyway. So there's no excuses to miss Bible class, both in person and on Zoom. If you're there in person, we'll have the chairs all cleaned, but you can grab your chair and spread it out with you'll be able to kind of social distance yourself. And then when you're done, we'll collect all those chairs and sanitize them and get them all cleaned up. If you're staying home Sunday, the 9 o'clock, the service will premiere at 8:45 on our YouTube channel. And then 10:30, we'll be zapping on to the Zoom. And no 1 o'clock service this week. Seems like there was something else for that. It'll come to me. Then the other opportunity to come to the Lord's Supper is Tuesday afternoon. Here's what we're going to try this week and see how it works with you guys. If we need to do more, need to do less, just let me know, so forth. So we're going to have 3 small services, 20-minute services at 3, 3:20, and 3:40 in the chapel. And then 3 more small services at 4, 4:20, and 4:40, also in the chapel. Those small services, the first hour from 3 to 4, those 3 services they're limited to 10 people each. So we just, like our Tuesday, but like our Sunday afternoon, we just put a cap of 10 people. So if you want to come to that service, call the office or call me or send an email. We'll sign you up for that. I'm going to work on registration a little this week, but talk to Elsa or me. We'll sign you up for those services. You can park in front of the church on the Circle Drive there, which hardly ever gets used, but you can park there. We'll open up the chapel doors, and you can come in. We'll have an abbreviated communion service with a little meditation. It'll be a service, but it'll be like a homebound service almost, or a hospital visit somewhere. Open up the doors, you can come. 10 people max for the first 3 services, and then this will be for family or individual. So, families of one, really. So if you're at risk, but you want to come just you and your family, we'll come there. And so that we're going to try this on Tuesday afternoon. So this will be this week, and we'll see how it goes. And we'll make adjustments this week. To sign up for that, here's the contact information for the office. Here's my contact information, and that's a new phone number. Now, my old phone number will work, But I got a local number as well, because when I would call you guys, you wouldn't answer because you're like, it's a spammer from Colorado calling. So I've got a local number so I can get through your filters. So you can call me on this number, or you can call me on the old number. They both ring at the same phone, but this is a new local number. So you can, if you want to save that, you can put that down there. Now, if you're still nervous about coming to church, just let me know, and we're going to add you to the homebound list and start scheduling those visits coming up this week. So that's great. We're going to keep recording the services and posting those at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. That'll be happening and indefinitely. So we're not going to, if you're not ready to come back to church, we're not going to forget about you. Don't worry. You are on our mind. So we're going to be, I don't know how I'm going to watch the service and be at the service at the same time. We'll figure that out, but don't worry. So 9 o'clock, if you're at home, 9 o'clock, still the service is there. Also, Tuesday morning, our Worldwide Bible class at 10 a.m. with Pastor Preuss studying the Gospel of Mark, and a Wednesday evening Bible class. Also on our Zoom meeting, 6:30, and we go to 8 o'clock studying the prophet Isaiah. It's really fantastic. We're ramping up to get our classes started, both confirmation and new member classes. I've been getting more and more for new members. This is going to be a great class. I'm working on a new curriculum for this. I'm getting excited with some of the possibilities that Zoom will do. So both classes will begin the week of September 13th. I don't know what day of the week they'll be on, but that's coming up as well. If you would like envelopes, that request is due in the office by September the 20th. Now, this Sunday, to get you ready, thinking about it, this Sunday, August 23rd, is Pentecost 12th Sunday in Pentecost. It's proper 16. It's the Sunday of Jesus and the disciples at Caesarea Philippi. It's way up north, this pagan city. Caesarea Philippi was built next to this cliff, and this cliff had a cave, and out of the cave flowed the Jordan River. And they built, they called that the gates of Hades, that little hole in the ground. It doesn't flow out of there now. The Jordan River it's like 100 or 200 yards in front of that. The Jordan River comes out of the springs, come out of the ground. So that cave is dark now. There used to be a temple over it to Pan, the god. So they called, the original name of the city was Panius or Banius, the house of Pan, the god of the underworld. You know, the flute playing. This is a pagan place. It's called Caesar Philip. And Jesus is up there, kind of out of the controversy of all the Pharisees. He's up there. Who do men say that I am? And some say you're John the Baptist risen from the dead. Some say Elijah, Jeremiah, one of the prophets. Jesus says, who do you say that most important question, who do you say that I am? So that's this Sunday. In fact, this Sunday is part one of that conversation. And then next week is part two. But remember, and so the word of the week, Peter says, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus says, you're blessed, Peter, Simon Bar-Jonah. And that's when he gives him the name Peter. Peter means rock. And he says, you are Peter, and on this Petros I will build my church, on this little rock, on this confession. I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not prevail against it. Well, that word church is the word of the week, ecclesia. It's used only 3 times by Jesus. And it's Matthew 16:18, our verse. And then 2 chapters later, Matthew 18:17, it's used twice. Ecclesia. Ecclesia. It means, means to call, and lesia, it means to call out. So it's like an assembly. So when they would gather the people together, like everyone come together, we got to make a decision, that was an ecclesia, come together. So Jesus says, I will build my ecclesia. And how comforting is this? The gates of hell will not prevail against it. That's the thing that we have to hear all the time now, boy. The gates of hell do not prevail, and they will not prevail against the church. You know the future. Jesus has told you that he will come back, and when he comes back, he'll find his church still standing against the gates of hell. So we know this, from now until the return of Jesus, we will be able to hear the promises of God and live in those promises because of what Jesus says. The gates of hell will not prevail against the church. So God be praised. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Remember, please keep in touch. If you need anything at all, please let us know, and we'll look forward to seeing you at church or online very soon. God's peace be with you.